Hi, welcome to First Sense Friday. So I've been working on this platform and these classes and everything where I want to help people develop their intuitive sense because I believe it's such a powerful aspect of ourselves. I mean, obviously it's how I live my life. So, and I encourage it in everyone and to really embrace and be excited about the fact that we have an intuitive self. So I'm developing these programs called First Sense because I believe that our intuition and our knowing and all of that does come from a first sense, not our fifth, sixth. Hey Deb, hi Jane. Thank you for joining me, First Sense Friday. First ones to hear it. Are you excited? So I thought I'd lead it off with that instead of the weather report that I usually do, that I realized I was doing every week. So for this week, I decided to tackle something that's a little bit mainstream. It's not mean. I promise you it's not mean. Mainstream. And that's the meme. So for those who aren't aware, a meme are all those great posts that you see that have the sometimes positive statements, sometimes some snarky ones that I will admit make me laugh, but that show up on social media. Okay, so the idea hit me because I do a lot of them. I promote a lot of them. I like putting the word out there that we can have a great day. And if I truly believe how you start your day, how you end your day, it's all a recycling program. So if you start with an appreciation or joyful or serene moment, then your system gets used to that and it starts to be in that world, right? It starts to be there more naturally. So the memes are great. I mean, people are very clever and I love them. I've certainly created enough of them over the years to have contributed to this whole thing. But what was occurring to me was that one day I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and one after the other, people were sharing the same meme. And I got thinking about it that, I wonder if when people see these and they're so great and they hit share, it's so easy to do that. So feel free to share my stuff. I'm totally, without any hesitation, will ask you to do that. But are you reading it? Like, are you truly believing what you're sending? Do you even realize how powerful those words are? Now, we all hear that words are powerful, but it's not only what we're speaking or what we're saying to ourselves. That's very important. How you talk to yourself, that little voice that lives up in there that sometimes you have to say, Victoria, zip it. You can call her Victoria if you want to. That's what I happen to call mine. So the words have resonance, have value. So your intuitive sense, your first sense will kick in when you're reading something, when you're hearing something, somebody speaking to you. The easiest one ever. You made it, Anne. Good luck. Good for you. Hi, Joanna. Your first sense, your intuitive sense, when someone says when you ask, hi, how are you? And they're like, I'm fine. And you can feel, something's not so fine in there. And if you have manners, you don't always mention it. But that's part of your first sense. And that was there when you came in naked with no teeth. You could feel who you wanted to be with, who you didn't want to be with. So I was wondering, as I'm seeing all these memes being posted and shared and everything, that is the person who's posting them believing what they're posting, or are they just looking for shares? They just putting out there what they think is popular? And is the person who's sharing it believing what they're posting? Because just like what you say about yourself or how you feel or how you think about yourself, your system takes it in. We absorb everything on an energetic level before it gets to our physical self. So before it gets to the brain and the processing and all of that, it's already in our emotional or energetic field. So your system, your body, your beliefs, your emotions are absorbing all of this information all along. So I think it's important that we be mindful and that we be paying attention to not only what we're saying, what we're hearing, what we're reading, what we're sharing. So a meme, when I looked it up, I'm going to have to look down to read this, is actually described as an element of culture or system of behavior that may be considered to be passed from one individual to another by non-genetic means, especially imitation. So when I looked up the meme, which I will fully admit I thought was Mimi, and I said that to Kayla when it first came out, she had fits of laughter over that for about 10 minutes. So when I looked up the definition of the meme, it made so much sense to me why I was questioning, do people even pay attention to what they're sharing? And no, they don't, because sometimes people post that the same dog has been missing and that dog has been home for 2 years because they don't look at the posting date. But I think a lot of people just grab something that hits them in a moment and maybe don't take that time to see how it feels within their system, and do they really believe it? So if we're sharing these memes that other people have put up and we're living off an act of imitation, of course, imitation can be the sincerest form of flattery if you're the one receiving it. But if you're the one doing the imitating, you are not lined up with yourself. And we can seek inspiration from others, but the minute you slide into imitation, it's like imitation cheese and all that stuff. It's just nasty. So go for full fat and treat yourself. So when you're sharing and you're absorbing all of that stuff, your system is believing to its fullest essence. It is believing what you are saying, what you are reading, and how you're perceiving it. So if you're taking that next step to share it, your system is not only receiving it in that first sense satellite dish system, it is also engaging in it, and it now hits the enter button and it puts it in your programming. And if you're sharing things, like you see the ones that say, I'm 50% bitch, or I'm, a hard, what, and not because I do squats, but because I'm a cranky person. But when you see all those posts and you see people posting them, they have entered that into their belief systems of who they are. And to me, like, my heart literally will be like, oh, especially if I know the person. Okay, there are some bitches out there. There just are. Just like there's some jerks. But most of the people I find are sharing them are actually pretty sensitive people, and maybe that's become their security system or their defense mechanism, right? So they've learned to imitate someone else who acted like that, and then come off in this badass way that isn't a compliment. And it's not serving them. It's not serving any of us that laugh at it or that love it or anything like that. So in the world of memes, they're very popular, and in that they can be very impactful on how your system is doing, or how you're believing about what you're believing about yourself. And words are incredibly powerful, and they have a resonance to them. A lot of the times when I'm working with someone and I'll ask them, well, what's that emotion that you're feeling there? Or how would you describe what happened or the situation? And they'll give me some words. I work with very smart people. They give me very good adjectives and descriptors and everything. But a lot of the times the vibration is off. And because I've spent all this time feeling out the vibration of frustration or anger, joy, they all have different frequencies on relative to each other. So a lot of the times I'll say, well, is it possible that it feels like there's grief in there rather than sadness or anger? Or there's flat out frustration, I'm not taking this anymore, rather than bitterness. So if we spent a little bit of time feeling how it feels to your own system, because it's going to be a little different. We've all experienced grief differently, or anger, or excitement, or joy. We've all experienced it differently. So we have a different mechanism of processing, which thankfully, because it would be so boring if we didn't. So if we spent a little bit of time looking at the memes that are happening, I figure if there's something out there that can help us become more aware to who we are and how we're operating in the world, then we should take advantage of them. So thank you to whomever came up with the meme idea. So some brilliant person in marketing, you know it was. So when you're seeing these posts or when you're creating them yourselves, please take the time to understand that words do have power, and what you're emitting from yourself is way more than a couple clicks on the keyboard and swinging of the mouse there. So the other part of the meme that I found part of the whole watching it and figuring out why it was so popular, I mean, I love them, why it affects so many people and why it garners so much feedback. Forgot to put do not disturb up, sorry. So is that it grabs us, right? And it makes us feel like, yeah, go. I completely agree with that. And it's amazing. And then, or on the other side, join in the anger kind of thing. But simply sharing a meme, reading a meme, or an affirmation calendar, or the emails that you get every day that have the positive message of the day, it's not enough. Like, it's not enough to simply read something and perceive it. Yes, it does go into your system and it does get absorbed in some way, but if you really want your life to be all that, or you want to have great boundaries, a lot of the memes seem to be about boundaries, or you want to manifest your dreams, you have to get off thy arse. There has to be some action that is connected to whatever the rising up statement is, whatever we're affirming in our life. It's not going to work if you're just sharing it on social media. It will impact your brain in some way. That's great. But it's still not going to help you move forward in your life and bring in, if you're talking about manifesting, it's not going to do it. There's no magic wand. You have to actually put action behind the intention. And this world of sharing the posts and everybody getting behind one and saying that's their life and this is what I want in my life. A lot of the times I'll see this on somebody's page and then a year later I'm seeing the same thing, and no, I'm not keeping track. It just occurs to me, hey, didn't they say that last year? That without any kind of step-by-step and maybe tapping into that first sense of yours, your own intuitive knowing, then you're going to be reading the same meme 6 years from now and wondering why nothing moved. So what I would like to throw out as the challenge for this week, for those who came on after my first few minutes, we're now calling it First Sense Friday, because intuitively we got to start listening to that, what we came in with. We can't waste a soul gift. Come on. So what I want to encourage is when you're flipping through and you're seeing an advertisement, right, that you think you line up with, any kind of message that's coming at you, from you, within you, out of you, start paying attention to it, because that is what your whole system is reading and operating from. So we're very quick at saying, I'm so slow, or I'm such a slob, or if only I got my yada, 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 fill in the blanks together. True. Keep saying it, nothing will happen. Your system will keep believing that of you, because this brain is just a yes machine. It says yes. You think you're dumb? Yes. You think you're smart? Yes. You think you're worth everything? Yes. So it only says yes. So pay attention to what you're saying to it. So what I'd like to challenge you guys to do is to create your own meme of your life, where you are right now. Not the 5-year plan, not what you want to be in the pie in the sky dream. Those are still great, but we call them vision boards. So create the meme for where you are in your life. Be mindful about how you're talking to yourself. What's the message that you will be reading? Because you're going to create this meme in whatever format you want. It can be on a program. There are tons of free apps out there. That Typorama is one that I've used, and Canva is a really nice one. I'm pretty sure they have a free version. Those in business, you don't get the free version, but I'm pretty sure they have one. So go create your own meme where you are today, being aware of it, being honest. So, and then what you're going to do is this either becomes the background on your phone, you print it out and it goes in your wallet, you have it on your mirror in your bathroom. Thank you, Kelly. Canva does have a free version. So when you create this meme, I actually want you to think of it the way I thought it was originally, which was the Mimi. I want you to think of, how do I see me right now? This is not meant to be and to have you be in a place of judgment of self. This is so you can be in a place of understanding what step you may need to take next. Like for me right now, I'll be totally honest, got a lot on my plate right now, feeling a little bit under the wire, a little pressured lately. Why? I put that on myself. So my meme could be something along the lines of, take a breath, remember what you've accomplished, and then take your time and do it well. Something like that, okay? But it needs to be where you are today, because nothing moves if you're not looking at it honestly. That was a very backwards way to say that. Energy will move wonderfully if you look at it honestly. Well, a little better. So in creating this meme, what you're going to do is you're going to look at where you are today. You're going to look at what you would like to be experiencing in your life. And you're also going to look at who would you like to be. And once you do all that, have fun creating. If you want to cut words out of a magazine, it's a little serial killer, but you go for it. You can do that. If you have the ability to sketch more than, I can't even do an even box. So if you have that ability, sketch it up. I do want to inform though. So for it to be music or anything like that, it doesn't work in this context. Usually I like that as a form of moving energy. So don't be an imitation. Okay, if a meme is how we're receiving information and what we're projecting out there by a non-genetic mean, especially through imitation, it's a shortened version of the definition, then be willing to be individual. And that's why I would like it to be your own meme, okay? Share them with me. If you want it to be private, send it through either my email, Vicki@VickiBarrett.com, or through Facebook. Right on here, you can send a message and I'll get it. Or if you want to share it right underneath this and be inspiration to others, go for it, but that is not necessary. Thank you, but it's not necessary. So thank you for showing up for First Sense Friday. And I hope you have a great weekend and you're creative and you are willing to pay attention to what you're bringing in, what you're offering, because it's only going to enhance your life even more and bring more joy. So be nice to you and be nice to yourself. If you observe those words that are on the less than supportive side, because the only way that pattern stops is by acknowledging it and then shifting it in the moment, okay? Or we can do some repatterning. Can do it that way too. So thank you so much. Gotta fly. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next week.